Hi, welcome back to the Sophisticated Six. We're here to talk about hacking, but a little differently than what we've done in the past. The past couple podcasts have been mainly about how hacking can affect you. Today, we're going to be talking about how hackers can make money and create a business out of what they've been doing.
So you say that hackers are able to make money off of hacking us? How exactly would that work?
Yeah, aren't they all just fat guys in basements trying to get a hold of your information?
Well, no, not really. So there's three different models to what hackers are, to what kind of hackers there are really, or the types of hacking. So the first kind is not really hacking per se, but they allow other people to hack. So what they're doing is they're kind of like the Microsoft or the Apple of hacking, where they just create the hacking software and then they sell it out and disseminate it to other people who don't have the skill. And those people just use that package to, hack into your iCloud, for example. The second kind is industrialized hackers. These aren't so much, they don't really care as much about your iCloud than as your credit card numbers or your bank account information. And the third kind of hacker is the individual hacker. Now, these are the guys that are weird. They really care about money, and if they do, they are more towards going after a specific individual. These are guys that are just trying to fool around, really. And therefore they're the least dangerous.
But they make the news more often because of what they do, like the celebrity leak photos and stuff like that.
That's true, but while those can be incredibly embarrassing, financially those aren't too bad.
That is true.
So I know that they can get a hold of our credit card information, but how else can they get a hold of our money?
Yeah, Catherine, I get what you're saying, but how exactly do hackers get paid?
So more on how hackers get paid. They use a currency called a Bitcoin, which is technically referred to as a digital cryptocurrency. So in layman's terms, it's more of an untraceable model of money. These Bitcoins are generated from doing certain tasks. So a company will say, hey, I have a data file needs to be crunched, or hey, this action needs to be done, and they will assign a Bitcoin value to it. After it's done, the Bitcoin is available for purchase. Now people can monetize this by saying, hey, let's say I've got 0 Bitcoins right now, but I want to buy something with it. I can give money to somebody who has one in exchange for their Bitcoin number. And now usually Bitcoins are used on the dark web to purchase anything from illegal drugs to guns or weapons. So it's really a nasty kind of currency, and it's actually unstable due to the fact that it's not backed by any physical currency. More information on this topic can be found on CNN Money if you guys are interested.
Wow, thanks for that useful source, Joe. Yeah, and to comment on the instability of Bitcoin. When Bitcoin was started, it was only worth about 5 cents per coin, and since it's been consistently going up until now, it's worth about $1,200 per Bitcoin. But it's had quite a few crashes along the way. 2 of the more notable ones are, according to Forbes, the one back in middle August 2011 where Bitcoin lost a literal half of its value. It went from $13.50 per coin down to $7 per coin over the course of one night. It completely crashed. It was a horrible epidemic. A lot of people lost a lot of money. And more recently, according to Quartz.com, back in January 2015, Bitcoin lost $3 billion worth of market value in 40 minutes. This is mostly due to Bitcoin not being backed by anything, it's just online code. But most currencies are backed by a form of a government where if you lose the money, you will be backed, like the FDIC will back you up to $250,000. Whereas with Bitcoin, if you lose this money, you're screwed. There is no way to get it back. It's not backed by anything. You're just out of luck, basically.
Going back to Catherine's question about how hackers actually get paid, not all hackers are good guys. Some of them are actually, robbers and digital burglars, you could call them. Since Bitcoins aren't a physical currency, as we mentioned a couple times, it's just a lines of code stored on your computer or cloud that have monetary value. A hacker can go and physically attack your laptop or computer and take your Bitcoins, literally robbing you of your own money from your computer, which is very different from stealing your credit card number, because there's nobody in between. You can't cancel your credit card. You can't cancel your Bitcoin. It's just gone. So hackers also just target servers that hold Bitcoins and your personal computers. Another way that they can make money is, I mentioned before, completing these chain blocks. So say I want dirt on Oron. So I'll put out a request to say I will pay somebody 1 Bitcoin to find me Oron's email address. And hackers will go and they'll use computer networks called a botnet to slowly work through this process and eventually give me the information I want. And then at that moment, I will pay them a Bitcoin.
Hacking yields both higher profits and lower risk than the sale of illegal drugs, which is actually crazy when you think about it. Today's world, actually, hacking is like almost a huge business industry. Hacking is a business where they can trade data and monetize information. Just so all of you know, I actually got all that information from idwatchdog.com.
Man, what another great source.
Hewlett-Packard Enterprise also states on their website a lot of blogs about the effects of hacking and how hacking works kind of as a business. It's a business that functions with its own set of rules. They look for profits and they try and use the fewest resources to get the greatest gains. They even have departments like HR, finance functions. Breaking down their business models, you can kind of consider hackers as just a competitor within your own field.
And referencing back to Catherine's source, actually, hackers are able to take thousands of dollars before irregularities are even recognized by a company. In fact, according to Inc.com, hackers cost companies a total of $400 billion each year, and companies themselves spend tons of money each year trying to stop the hackers from taking their money.
Just to make this more tangible for you guys to understand, like I said earlier, how black hat hackers operate just like a business. In fact, recently, a hacker claimed that he can make $15K to $20K an hour. And that's all according to gigom.com.
Another point is, in class we talked about virtual teams, which are teams of people that are united over the internet to work towards a common goal. The benefits of virtual teams are they don't have to deal with travel costs to get places. They can also very easily include mindsets from other countries that wouldn't normally be able to work in the US due to relocation fees and how much it would take to move them over here to live long enough to see a project through to completion. Another big benefit to virtual teams is the convenience of it. Like, you don't have to organize 12 people to be in one room at one time. You can coordinate virtually through like a Google Doc, for instance, to work.
If only we could do that with this. That'd be great.
Isn't that the truth? We could all record. We could make a virtual team out of a podcast. We could all record our own little segments and combine them into one. That would be an interesting idea worth pursuing if we had another podcast. But yeah, hackers can also form virtual teams. Like, for instance, if they wanted to say, you wanted to hack Pepsi. You wanted to know how they make Pepsi. You could hack into Pepsi's website by yourself, sure, but it would take a long time. Hackers can form virtual teams to all accomplish one goal a lot faster if they work together. Especially for hackers who have like a different job outside of hacking or that really can't relocate. They already are experts at the web. Like, coordinating across it is almost second nature to them. And forming virtual teams really helps them work a lot more effectively, and it can be a little scary to companies and private citizens, especially if you're the victim to one of these hacking virtual teams.
While we have been talking a lot about the detriments of hacking, it is important to recognize and remember that we talked about ethical hacking in one of our previous podcasts, and ethical hackers play a huge role in helping these companies make sure they know all the dangers that are out there for their businesses.
Yes, I agree, Kaylin. Ethical hacking is something to remember because we really do tend to always put this negative connotation on all hacking. Wrapping it up a little bit, we'd like to remember that hackers are a business. We see hackers sometimes as competitors within our business.
Yeah, actually. So hackers nowadays are more like a normal business than anything else if you think about it, because not only are they entrepreneurs, not only have they started in these businesses where originally they never existed, they're also using strategies that large corporations are using, such as industrializing them and using virtual teams. And these virtual teams, you have to remember, are important to the hacking industry because hacking you don't need a corporation or a corporate office. You can be anywhere and any time.
A quick review of Bitcoins is that there's crypto cyber currency that can be used to purchase goods anonymously online.
So unfortunately, this is our last podcast. Hopefully we taught you all a lot about hacking and ways to prevent it. The Sophisticated Six is signing off.